One application we're very excited about announcing today is the Salesforce1 application. This came from a tremendous amount of customer demand. We have a lot of customers who had been asking for better interoperability between, trusted interoperability between Good and Salesforce. We've been partnering with Salesforce for a while. We're thrilled to be able to have their support and collaboration. And actually, here with us, we have Robert Guido, who's the Vice President of Platform Sales. Robert, I'm going to invite you to join me for a couple of minutes, and we'll talk a little bit about Salesforce.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thanks. So far, so good. I didn't trip up the stairs.
I'm just happy we're past the demo. So, huge exhale on our part when you get past the live
exciting.
Part of the.
Very good.
It's very exciting, and we are so excited to have Salesforce for Good, or
Thanks for having us.
Good for Salesforce. I always sort of get them backed up. You know, Salesforce is really just one of those shining examples of companies that are customer-focused, right? Putting the customer in the center, and we've heard Salesforce talk about this in so many different ways. You know, what I'm really interested in hearing about is really how does mobility play into that? What is the meaning of mobility within Salesforce?
Sure. So what mobility means to Salesforce is living in micro moments, right? Whether you're at the security line at the airport, we've all been through that. Whether you're at the taxi cab line, even at the grocery store, you know, you're queuing up. And we find our customers want to take advantage of that time. So that's why the Salesforce1 release was so important to us. In fact, today, according to ComScore, people access mobile apps more often than they do desktop apps. So in fact, statistically, Ovum says by 2017, 77% of connected devices will be from smartphones. So mobility is very important to us.
Huge.
Huge.
Wow. And you guys took a very open approach to your mobile strategy as well, which we love, clearly. So this morning we put out a press release where we announced Good for Salesforce1, and we've actually had a couple of customers that have been trialing it, right? So giving us feedback, making sure the experience was great. I'm going to read the quote that we have in the press release, so forgive me for reading it to you. Leveraging Good for Salesforce1, we enable our sales organization to use the Salesforce1 mobile app on mobile devices in a way they haven't been able to before. The Good for Enterprise integration means we can allow our users to email directly from within Salesforce, greatly accelerating communication and collaboration. With single sign-on, we're improving the end-user experience, eliminating the need to be continually entering and re-entering passwords. And most importantly, as a highly regulated organization, we are assured that all of our CRM data is being secured and protected with Good's technology. So, you know, I talked earlier, as much as we love the concept of sort of security, it's really about establishing trust between applications. You know, what role do you see that sort of secure interoperability playing in the lives of your customers and sort of more broadly across Salesforce?
Really, speaking from an IT perspective, this is going to enable IT departments to roll out Salesforce1 apps company-wide much faster than they ever were before. Like you said, trust is very important to us. Trust, in fact, we put that out on the web. If you go to trust.salesforce.com, you can see how our systems are operating and really what's going on. So again, customer in the center, trust very important. But this release, this partnership with you will enable us to really accelerate the rollout of the Salesforce1 applications to our joint customers. In fact, we have many joint customers here in the tri-state area, and I'm looking forward to going back to them and saying, now we can do it.
Many of them are here, I hope.
Absolutely.
We can accelerate that for you. You know, we talked about, the customer quote highlights the importance of those mobile workflows. In terms of the vision, so aside from, the fact that these two applications can securely share data, what was the big driver in being able to kind of bring Good and Salesforce together? What was sort of the moment where you said, this makes a ton of sense for us as a company?
So like you said, workflows are very important. Business flows were always part of Salesforce. In fact, today you can create very seamless, easy workflows, again, within Salesforce. But that experience wasn't always seamless on a mobile device. So today with Salesforce1, our customers will be able to interact, use their applications just like they do from their desktops. It's a seamless experience that, again, is just kind of an easy way to access, whether they're on a micro moment or what have you. So that's why it's very important for us to have this partnership. And again, Salesforce, as you know, is the #1 CRM company in the world. We continue to innovate in service, engaging customers in marketing. And so this will just enable that future, if you will, to be here today. And that's why this partnership is going to be great.
Well, we're very excited about it. I think personally very excited about it because all of the good reps will also be using it. We've been a big Salesforce customer for a while, so thank you so much
Appreciate
for your
that. Thank
support
you very much.
and for joining us here
Okay.
today.
Good to talk to you.
Thank you.
Okay.
So I want to talk just very briefly before we close on devices. You know, yesterday was sort of a big event in the industry, right? We had another major keynote. But when we look across the industry and we look at the growth of mobile devices, you know, nobody can question that Android has really taken off, right? That Android globally has become just a huge part and really the leader in end consumer adoption of mobile devices. When we look at the enterprise statistics, and many of you track our mobility index that we put out every quarter, where we track what customers are deploying behind the firewall, you know, the enterprise adoption has looked slightly different. One of the companies that's working incredibly hard, and we've been very supportive of, to really change this dynamic has really been Samsung. And so to come and talk a little bit about what that journey looks like, I'd like to invite Dr. Injong Rhee, who's the head of the Samsung NOCs Business Group, to join me here on stage.
Wow, big crowd.
It's fun, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well.
So I showed those two charts, and I get that that's you know, that's not the world as we'd like it to look.
I get goosebumps
right?
when I see that chart, you know.
It's opportunity.
Yeah, it is.
Can you talk a little bit about sort of how you view that and why you think it looks that way?
Well, you know, it's the Android has been taking off, and you know, it's in terms of market share, it's #1 in the world in terms of, you know, the operating system. Also, Samsung is taking major, you know, share of that. So we've been focusing a lot on the consumer side, and it's only really recent that we're really embracing this the consumerization of IT. And so, as you said, in 2013 is really the year of BYOD, and you know that's the so when we started actually focusing on the really enterprise space and putting a lot of effort, really making Android really suitable for the enterprise.
And what role do you think BYO is going to play in sort of shaping what mobility looks like long term within enterprise?
I think it is there's two aspects that I'm looking at. One is really diversity in the device choice, okay? And number two is the privacy, user privacy, because now consumer is actually bringing the device to the work. So the first point, the diversity in the device choices. And it's really good for in terms of cost reduction for the company, but it could be at the same time it could be a bit of a challenge for the IT managers because the diversity is probably the last thing you want. You want more of a uniformity in terms of control and management, right? And so now there's a lot of diversity at a device level or hardware level. But what we're trying, what's really happening is that because of BYOD, the abstraction is really moving into the application and services. So people, the IT wants more uniformity and more application management instead of device management. And that's what I see as, I see this event and Good is moving into the area very strongly, and this is really positive sign, and and I really welcome that.
Well, we're huge fans of NOCs, and I think NOCs has kind of given us capabilities in your devices that give us the ability to do more. Can you talk a little bit about how you see Samsung and NOCs kind of coming together for the customer? What do you think that they sort of bring to the user who's looking at bringing Android in and changing that picture?
Right. So it's actually what we've been working very hard on is really getting these certifications and third-party verification on the Android, and especially on Samsung Android, being really secure and suitable for really defense-grade operation. And so that's what Samsung NOCs is bringing in. But a lot of some of the feedback I've been receiving was that that's only for Samsung, right? Samsung does all that hardware based security hardening, but we want a solution that is across board, right? And so well, it's in fact, it's really what we are trying to do is that we're trying to provide the security and much better support for the application that runs on top of Samsung devices, but doesn't necessarily mean that we're actually breaking the application ecosystem. So the same application runs on other Fruit devices and on the Samsung devices too. But on the Samsung devices, you have better security support and better user experience. That's what we're actually getting at.
Other Fruit devices, I like that.
Yeah.
So we started working together late last year. We announced at Mobile World Congress that we were going to kind of make good and NOCs work better together. I believe that starting today, we'll be able to start bringing customers in, and customers can start applying for the early access preview to roll out. What are you hearing in terms of customer interest? Do we have a lot of customers that are teeing up?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, since our announcement at MWC about this joint partnership between Good and Samsung, and what we've been doing, since then was really working hard to provide the really, hardware level security hardening for the Good applications and Good container. And so users get the same experience, but in terms of security protections and support, you get much, deeper and stronger support from Samsung NOCs devices. And so, it is not that any application runs on our device is going to have all this security hardening. It's actually the application that uses special APIs that we provide. And that's those APIs we actually expose it to Good applications, and not only for the the Samsung applications. So we are taking this trend and really embracing bring your own device to work by working with a company like Good and to
Excellent.
provide the same uniformity in the experience, but a deeper level and a stronger security support for Samsung devices.
Well, and speaking of that deeper level, I mean, we had another sort of announcement this morning that we just completed the acquisition of a company called Fixmo that does integrity services.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that this is going to give us an opportunity to work more together, because integrity services from Fixmo is also a part of NOCs as well. Can you just, not everybody has probably heard of it, can you describe a little bit about what role that integrity services component plays within the NOCs stack?
Yeah, so that integrity management components is a really critical components of Samsung NOCs architecture. And what Fixmo brings in is the application level integrity check and management capability. And that's in combination with our trust zone based integrity measurement and management, it actually gives a lot of strong, that deep level security. And then the Fixmo solution, and then now it's part of Good, is going to be very good integrity measurement services for us, and it's going to stay that way. And also, we've been collaborating with Fixmo on the Safe Zone, which is another container that's working across platform, and we'll continue to support that as well as a part of our new the device management cloud-based solution as well.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, we're very excited that customers will start to be able to use Good and NOCs, the closer collaboration, and my hope is that when we sit down this time next year, that those lines look very, very different as we see more Android devices coming into the enterprise. So
we'll be working
thank you
very
very
hard.
much.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Injong.
Thank you.
Yeah.